So RFK Jr. definitely does buy into a whole bunch of crackpot conspiracies. And you would think a guy with a conspiracy theory mindset who's paranoid and thinks everybody's out to get him would think things through a little bit more and realize that if you go on a podcast and say something into a live microphone and there's a video of you doing it and you say a bunch of shit, then somebody can pull that clip up of you saying a bunch of shit. That's exactly what happened to him on CNN. Take a look at this.
You have gained notoriety for your skepticism about vaccines. And over the summer in an interview, you said, quote, "There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective." Do you still believe that?
I never said that.
So stop me. We have the clip. Please play the clip.
You've talked about that the media slanders you by calling you an anti-vaxxer. And you've said that you're not anti-vaccine, you're pro-safe vaccine. Difficult question. Can you name any vaccines that you think are good?
I think some of the live virus vaccines are probably averting more problems than they're causing. There's no vaccine that is, safe and effective. What I'm saying is that none of the 72 vaccines has ever been tested in a safety study pre-licensing.
So let me ask you if you think it's wise for people to take these vaccines, because you had this to say on a different podcast about whether people with young babies should be getting them shots. Watch.
For many, many years, I think parents were so gaslighted and they were scapegoated and they were vilified and marginalized, so that even parents of kids who were very, very badly injured knew what happened to their kid, but they were just reluctant to talk about it. And I think now those days are over. Our job is to resist and to talk about it to everybody. If you're walking down the street, and I do this now myself, which is, I don't want to do, I'm not a busybody. I see somebody on a hiking trail carrying a little baby, and I say to them, better not get them vaccinated. And he heard that from me. If he hears it from 10 other people, maybe he won't do it. Maybe he will save that child.
Maybe he will save that child. You think preventing vaccines for a child will save that child? Do you still say this to parents today?
What I say again is I had 3 vaccines, Kasie, when I was a kid, and I was fully compliant. My kids got 72. The current recommendations are, I think, around 77. And
I have a vaccine record for my child, and there are not 77
there are 77 doses. There are 72 doses of 16 vaccines. Oh, that's just a fact.
See, that's what we need more of in this world right there. Kasie Hunt just laid the blueprint on how to go about this. You're interviewing somebody, you quote what they said. If they try to deny they said it, stop them dead in their tracks. Don't let them get another word in. Play the clip. Show them saying what they're now sitting there denying they ever said. Catch them in their lie. That needs to happen more and more with these MAGA politicians, because they go out here and they just say anything they want to, and they change on a dime, and their audience is trained to jump through those hoops. They can jump through more hoops in their mental gymnastics game than anyone I've ever seen. But to the rest of us who are over here in the real world, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't. If Donald Trump walks out and says, "I love spaghetti, I eat spaghetti every day," he could walk off stage, or he could 5 minutes later say, "I hate spaghetti, I've never had it in my life," and they will roll with it. They'll go right with it. Oh, he never really said he liked spaghetti. If you go back and listen to it, I don't think it's what he said. I think you're taking it out of context. But people over here in the real world goes, no, he said he loved spaghetti, and 5 minutes later said he hated it, and you guys agree with both of it. That's how crazy they've got. That's how far out they've got. But getting back to RFK Jr. and his conspiracy theories about vaccines, folks, the reason why I don't talk a whole lot about that and I don't make a whole lot of videos talking about vaccines is because I'm not a doctor. And I'm not a medical expert, and no one out there should ever take their medical advice from me. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm going to tell you to listen to your doctor. I'm going to tell you to go to your doctor, and whatever he has to say, that's probably what you ought to do, or that's what you ought to consider. That's what I'm going to say. I'm never going to sit here and give you advice, because I buried 2 people that meant a whole lot to me because they listened to guys like that. Those were the type of guys they couldn't wait to see go on Joe Rogan and sit and talk about it. And I'm saying, yeah, but what's your doctor saying? Well, the doctor says I need to do this. Well, you might want to listen to the doctor. You might not want to listen to this podcaster, and you might not want to listen to this crackpot conspiracy theorist. You might want to listen to your doctor. And then I took those 2 people out and I buried them myself. I buried their ashes myself. That's why this strikes such a nerve with me. Because every time we tried to point out you should listen to your doctor, that's the direction we got pointed in. And that's why that I would never, I don't give a damn if RFK Jr. came out tomorrow and said Tennessee Brando was his favorite content creator in the history of the world. Fuck you. I don't want anything to do with you. I think he's a disgrace to the Kennedy name. And I know a whole lot of people's like, oh, people's too hard on him. He's really a nice guy once you get to know him. I don't want to get to know him. I have no desire to get to know RFK Jr. Okay, so we can go ahead and put that to bed. I got no desire to meet the guy. I don't want to be around him. I don't want to hear nothing he's got to say. Because, you know, they're being too hard on him. I heard a guy say that one day. They're being too hard on him, man. No, what Kasie Hunt did is exactly what needs to happen more often. You said this. No, I didn't. Yeah, you did. Here's the clip. Catch them in their lies. Show them for who they really are. Because they go out there on these podcasts and they say stuff that they know their audience will lap it up. That's the whole point. They know their audience will lap it up. But then the rest of us is going to try to hold them accountable for it. And when we do, they're going to get upset. Well, what is it they say? Fuck your feelings? Yeah, hell with it. Let's hold their feet to the fire and point out when they get it wrong.